sisters. Yay! Yay! Claudia did this earlier today in a meeting and I fell in love with it. So this is happening. Yay! Loving all around. And nice to have all of you back for another full moon. And today's a special one. Today's a Libra, which means it's all about Zebellines and relationships and all the things. So first, I want to start us off with welcoming you. And second, astrology with Melanie to open up the circle and talk about what is happening in the moonology of the world. Hi, Mel.
So first off, full moon in Libra, we have two Libran fierce leaders, and we are so lucky to have Jocelyn and Claudia, who are both Libras, which are amazing. Yay! So happy full moon in Libra. Also,
hello everyone.
Today is the first day of Taurus season. So represented by the Justice card in tarot, Libras are all about balance, beauty, fairness, and discipline. The moon is no longer in Libra, but we still might be experiencing some of the themes that are lighting up around the topics and themes of relationships, teams, partnerships, collaboration, anything kind of business wise. Think very air energy, very mental. That's all kind of, sorry for the background noise. So as I mentioned, today is the first day of Taurus season, which we've already been kind of feeling a little bit of with the North Node shift into Taurus back in December. So we still kind of have that like earthy nature theme, but really honing into the security, the stability, and creature comforts that we're all kind of used to. So this month will bring up things like finances, material wants or needs, building strong foundations within yourself and those around you. As Earth Day approaches on the 22nd, which is Friday, we're reminded not only to take care of our planet, but also to be grounded within our own lives. Questions you may ask yourself are your visions sustainable? Are they structured? Take a look at what you're striving for and really evaluate the practicality and just kind of like the groundedness of what you're looking for coming in the next month. So tomorrow we'll see the moon squaring in Jupiter, which is an oddly positive square. Squares tend to get kind of like a bad rap in astrology. People hear squares and they go, ooh. This one's oddly positive. So you may be feeling a little bit more creative and wanting to take more risks on projects tomorrow. It's only going to be the one day. So tomorrow's really going to tap into that creativity. Do it. Any risk that might come up with a new project, do it. Use the energy of tomorrow to just kind of take advantage of any of the things that might be coming up for you creatively. We're also going to see the moon squaring Neptune tomorrow. Again, one day. It'll bring up some more emotional sense of self, but it's also a time to sit and really contemplate whether those feelings and emotions are relevant, whether they belong to you. It's really a time to tap into your intuition. And again, that creative energy is going to kind of flow through emotionally as well. So if you have kind of like a soul expression artistically, like say you paint from the soul, that's something that you should really tap into tomorrow and use that to your advantage. So we have a lot of planets that are in Pisces currently. So if you found yourself really trapped in daydreams or maybe a little bit more on the emotional side, same. Also, not the only one dealing with it because of that huge Piscean energy going on right now. One that I kind of want to focus on and like zero in on is Mars in Pisces. It's been here since the 14th and it will continue until the 24th of May. This particular placement isn't exactly the most comfortable. We might be feeling a little bit more irritable, distracted, and sometimes it can bring up a lot of past trauma. You might be feeling a little drained and depleted, but using this time for shadow work and really zeroing in on what's triggering you will help acknowledge and ride this transit out a little bit easier. On the 29th, we're going to see Pluto going into retrograde in Capricorn. Now, this is the first retrograde that we've kind of have to experience in the past like 2 months ish. It's been a while. So we're going into this retrograde all the way until October 8th. So this retrograde really does stick around for a while. Now, what does this mean? Pluto rules our shadow side, deep-seated fears, limiting beliefs, the unconscious, unpredictability, change, endings, and more importantly, beginnings. Embrace cleaning house both physically and emotionally. Clearing space, addressing things in your personal relationships and lives that don't feel good to you anymore. Embrace the change that occurs in your life during this period. It may not be easy, but it will bring a level of depth and truth that is needed. Space is being made for new people, new opportunities, new perspectives, new boundaries, and greater fulfillment. So don't hold on to anything that wants to leave. And I feel like that's something that we should really exercise in our lives anyway. So Pluto tends to enact change in our lives, whether we like it or not, but always for our highest good. Subconscious belief systems can easily be triggered during this time. To find out what area of your life is being influenced by this retrograde, take a look at current transits in your chart and also see where Pluto kind of lands for you. This is also a good time to meet any financial health or foundational fears that you have in your life and business and notice what is no longer working for you. The more we attempt to hold on tightly to things that are clearly changing, the more we may need this period to be a struggle. So basically, we might need this, rough patch that we're about to go through in order for us to realize and have that enlightenment that we're looking for. So yeah, it's going to bring in big transformation, new beginnings, again, new perspectives, all the goodness. Basically, we need to go through it in order to see what's on the other side. And sometimes that grass is going to be greener in this case. All right, so last but certainly not least, Mercury retrograde, everybody's favorite. Though it's not fully upon us officially until May 10th, we're going to be entering the shadow phase on the 26th in Taurus and shifting into Gemini on the 29th. This, of course, will amplify any communication and a lot around your social life, but be mindful of how you're communicating and who you're socializing with. And ensuring that you're actually thinking before what's coming out of your mouth, because that's going to be really important. I am just as guilty as the next to, not think before I speak. It's going to be something that's going to be super trying. Also think back to this time last year. What kind of themes came up around the retrograde last time, Mercury retrograde last time? Were they resolved? If not, chances are they are going to come up again and you will repeat the cycle. As always, ladies, remember to take care of yourselves. Self-care is important. Ground yourself, get outside, fall in love with nature and everything that our beautiful Mother Earth has to offer us, especially during this beautiful Taurus season and Earth Day on Friday. Thank you, ladies. I love you. That was a little long-winded, but I wanted to get all the things. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. And yeah, you went in deep, girl. You went in deep. So thank you. And I can't wait to actually, my favorite is having that written down and being able to highlight what's happening so that I can start making notes in my calendar. So can't wait to see it. And what she was talking about for the Mercury retrograde And a lot of these come around again, and we're experiencing them again in our lives. And this is why we have a red tent journal, and why it's important to have a journal specifically for spirituality in general, so that you can look back and be like, oh, when was that Mercury retrograde? So one of my favorite things to do for my journal prompts and my journal entries is writing down like where the moon is and where astrologically things are for that area. One of my favorite apps, just to like make you aware, is Moon Site Planner. You can even look it up, and they have one for the phone, so that you can know exactly what's happening astrologically on that day, and you can kind of write it down for your journal. So just a nice little hint and things that work in my life. Okay. Next, I want to go through. So I was checking in with Mel and with what was happening astrologically, and trying to come up with questions, as always, to help us through the next few days and through the next few weeks until the next new moon. And here are some questions that I came up with. And these questions, you can decide if you'd like to write them down, so that you can kind of have an answer to your question, have an answer to the questions, and know what it was talked about. Because sometimes we do repeat questions for the next, for example, Libra and full moon, or even a new moon, sometimes we'll do the same practices. So you can kind of write those down, and you'll start seeing themes that we bring up. So the first question is, dun, 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 what's alive in you right now? What's alive in you? What wishes to be expressed? This could be any type of feeling that you're going through, anything that happened throughout this day, or it could just be in life, or something you're holding back on, or something you're really excited to move forward in. What's alive in you right now? All righty. Next question. You girls ready? Thumbs up. All right, I see nods. So second question is, look at your plate, your metaphorical plate. What are you taking on at the moment? Maybe you're taking on decluttering your house, as I saw that Julie is, or maybe you're taking on a new job. Maybe you're taking on a new responsibility in the house, or a new title, new tasks, new hobbies, business adventures. What are you taking on at the moment? New to-do lists, current goals, all the things. What is being added on your plate because you're adding it? Maybe you didn't even notice that you're adding it, but maybe hopefully this will have you look at it. All right, so write down all the things. And then when you're ready, if you could put ready in the chat, that'll make my life easier, and so that I can just check in with all of you. So hi, Ali, welcome. So Ali, can you see the questions in the chat or should I rewrite it?
I don't see them, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the chat again for you so that you can see them. And then, so we're on the second question right now. So the first question was, what's alive in you right now? What wishes to be expressed? And the second question is to look at your plate and see what's on it. What kind of task, titles, roles, to-do list items, business adventures, hobbies, people, what's in your circle right now? All right, cool. Music man.
I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am present, I am here. I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am present, I am here. I am a sacred sister, a magic maker. I am a believer in peace on earth. I am a sacred sister, a magic maker. I am a believer in peace on earth. The choice is mine now. Where do these feet lead me? What is the lesson in this? Are my angels with me? Am I listening? I am listening. I am listening. I slow down to hear them. I breathe into anahata green spiral heart chakra center of my chest. This moment, followed by the next, followed by the next. I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am present, I am here. I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am present, I am here. I am a sacred sister, a magic maker. I am a believer in peace on earth. I am a sacred sister, a magic maker. I am a believer in peace on Sweet sister, share your medicine. Sweet sister, share your soul. Sweet sister, share your medicine. Sweet sister, share your soul. Sweet sister, share your medicine. Sweet sister, share your soul. Sweet sister, share your medicine. Sweet sister, you are whole.
Alrighty, I see a few of us are done, so just checking in. How much longer we got, girls? Feeling good? All right, cool. So I'd love to know some things that you girls put on your list before we move on to the next question. Does anybody want to share a few items? You can even just write one in the chat and I can say it out loud. So for example, I wrote, I'm a wife. I just got a 40-hour job that is very rewarding. A daughter to a mother-in-law. I just want my sister-in-law. I just had a car crash yesterday. So I'm showing up as a sister, as a babysitter for her child too. These are some roles I play. Red Sun Goddess co-founder. We were trying to do an introductory webinar. I'm reading 3 different books at the moment, I realized, and I was like, oh snap, I should probably take one off my list. And we're watching Matrix, and I've got 3 different games going on right now on my free time that I don't really have free time. So I have all these games in my hand that I want to play, and it's overwhelming. So I'm writing down what's on my plate, and I'm already noticing a little bit of the next question. So anybody else want to share a little bit of what's on your plate right now?
I will.
Julie.
Hi.
Go ahead.
I got on my desktop, so I'm much happier now. Okay. Oh, I just shut my book. What am I doing? Okay. So, as I said in the chat, this whole month I've been just having this enormous desire to get rid of all the clutter. I've always been like a gatherer. And I realize now, because I've been doing a lot of personal growth, I realize I've been gathering all these things for someday, and I've been enjoying the gathering, but the gathering was keeping me from actually becoming, because I was like, oh, it's hard to become. So instead, let me just go gather, because then I don't have to think. Well, now I'm ready to say, okay, I gathered all these things, this, boom, don't need you anymore. That's not me anymore. And I'm ready to let go, where before I was not. So that's what I've been doing this time. Wait, let me go back over. Yeah. Focusing on letting go of things that no longer fit the person I want to be and the life I want to lead, which means getting rid of books, clothes, things like that I've said, oh, someday I want to learn, like underwater basket weaving. Not going to happen, getting rid of. Cleaning out my spaces inside and outside, and also working on my inner self, because I want to make room for major change and massive growth in the direction of my dreams. And that's really what I'm working on. And I'm a pet sitter still, but I'm also leaning into being a coach. I have a 12-week program that is very valuable that I'm leaning into delivering. And I do the Transcendence, which I had a masterclass a few weeks ago on that. And we have a food forest in our yard. And now all of a sudden, we're also going to see if we can apply to be a nursery, so we can sell food forest plants and native Florida plants. And that literally is what we've been doing today, is figuring out what we need to do for that. So.
Oh, please. I gotta know, how do you do that? That is a must for me. That is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just kind of a last minute. But it really feels like it fits, and it feels very flowing and exciting for both of us. So, and we work really well together when we're on the same page. So that's very exciting. So
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you actually led us perfectly into the third question, which is, ask yourself if you're wasting time, energy, or resources in areas that aren't growing your overall vision. So being able to look at, funny enough, decluttering whatever is in your house is a great way to do this. It is springtime right now, and especially with the Libra full moon that just passed, it's like massive energy of decluttering and balancing out our lives again to having more space, heading towards the visions that we want. So check in, and Julie was a perfect example of what you can write down and what you can look at. So I'll go ahead and put on music again. And Julie, you kind of already did this, so you feel free to continue. There's always more to the list. So I'll repeat the question just in case. Ask yourself if you are wasting time, energy, resources in areas that aren't growing your overall vision. And maybe if anything, you can also write down what is your overall vision, so that you can kind of look at it again and head towards. If you don't have an overall vision, or you forgot about your 2022 New Year goals, then you can also look at your goddess name and ask if it's heading in that direction.
We are activators, illuminators, sisters, share your soul. We are stimulators, medicine makers, sisters, we are whole. Sisters, we are whole. Sisters, we are whole. We are powerful, we are beautiful, we are present, we magic makers. We are all believers in peace on earth. We are sisters of the moon and daughters of the sun. We are mothers of the world, our voices, they are one. We are lovers of the earth and guardians of the land. We are weavers of the dream, together we are standing. We are rising, yes, we are rising up strong. We are rising, yes, we are rising up strong. We are sisters of the moon and daughters of the sun. We are mothers of the world, our voices, they are one. We are lovers of the earth and guardians of the land. We are weavers of the dream, together we are standing. We are rising, yes, we are rising up strong. We are.
All right, sisters, I think that was enough time for number 3. The 4th question. So this is a very interesting question, and I'm actually working on a course that got me to think about it and a book. And I actually, this book is called The Queen's Code, and it's pretty much guidance on how to be a queen, like a divine feminine. And I am absolutely loving the book. It is by one of my favorite people. Her name is Alison Armstrong. I follow her like crazy, and I'm working on going through all of her amazing courses that are extraordinary and get you to understand women, like the female brain, understand men in a whole new level. And she has different courses like understanding sex and intimacy, understanding love and commitment, how to bring that into relationships, how to have liberating understanding and extraordinary relationships, how to be an extraordinary woman. She goes deep, and it's pretty awesome. And the Queen's Code book is an absolutely amazing example of her work and what she's all about and what the kind of things you can learn by going through her course. And this is a question that she asked about men. She asked, what if everything a man does is for a good reason? And I have been sitting with this question. What if everything a man does is for a good reason for a very long time now, for almost 2 years now? And it has completely changed my world, especially when I not only thought about it from what if everything a man does comes from a good reason, but what if everything we do comes from a good reason? Everything we as in ourselves comes from a good reason or is because of a good reason. Everything that a man, a girl, a boy, a person, anybody, what if everybody has a good reason for what they're doing? And at the same time, I've also been doing some homework with, what's his name, Michael Rosenberg, and he talks about nonviolent communication, which is an amazing way to talk to people and connect to them. And he has something similar. He says every single act, every single behavior, every single thing that any person does in this third density body and being comes from meeting some type of need. And it might not be the best way to meet it, but it's the best way that they know how to meet it. So they're doing what they think is best at that time. And so what if everything is for a good reason again? If you sit with this question, it's what I have found that when I sit with this question, it has been extremely impactful. And no matter what anybody throws at me, I can see why they would have gone that route. And I can connect and empathize with them on what happened. So what if everything everyone does has a good reason? I left this question, and it's for you to answer and see what if. So maybe you can write down things like, well, what if everyone is for a good reason? What comes up for me? See what kind of belief systems might show up because if while saying this question. And then another thing you can do with this question is that you can look at something that has happened recently. Like I'm in a super vulnerable moment here, full on share happening. So one of the things that happened on my honeymoon trip was my father and my new husband got in a fist fight, and it was seriously intense. Julie's like, "What?" Yeah, it was not okay. And that moment had me mad at both of them. Like, what the? How could either of you fight each other? Like, I thought you guys cared about me and I made it about me, right? That ego mind that makes it self-obsessive. And I started looking at it from both of their sides and seeing how what each of both of them did, it came from something that they were trying to do good. My father was trying to trying to show my husband that he cared about me and like don't treat her that way. He was treating me perfectly fine, but he thought it was bad. And then the other option is my dad ended up by accident hitting me, and that's when my husband was like, that's not happening. So he was trying to protect me. So both of the men in my life were trying to protect me in their own way. And from that point of view, I was able to see, okay, both of them had a good reason for why they did what they did. They were trying to meet their needs for protecting and providing for me, and I can't make that wrong. So I got super vulnerable and showed you a little example of how you can look at what if everyone has a good reason for it and connect it. So 2 things you could do. 1, write down what if everyone has a good reason and see what belief systems or anything just free write. Or the second thing that you can do is you can look at a certain problem that you maybe haven't forgiven, or maybe it's still showing up in your life, and you can check in on what the good reason could be that the other person is doing that, or that you're doing that. How we doing? Can I get messages in the chat on if you're writing or need some extra time, or if you're good?
May all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they
Andrea,
are
I'm putting this song on for you, girl.
and may all daughters
All right,
know
I got
that
2 thumbs
they
ups.
are worthy, that
Resty. All right. So the next question, and the very last question, is what if everything about us has innate value? So innate value as in, if we were to look at every side of us, so I like to use the term the nun and the slut, right? No matter what, we always have both sides of us. We have a nun in us and we have a slut in us. And instead of making either or wrong, instead of making either or wrong, we can actually look at the fact that every single version of us, our shadow selves, our shadow talents, the shadow things that we even hide from ourselves, has an innate value to it. It has a reason for being there. If we were only nuns, then we wouldn't have children in this lifetime. And if everyone was sluts, we would have way too many children, most likely, right? So looking at the balance and the modification, looking at that Libra energy within it can be really supportive. So instead of something being wrong or bad within us, looking at those principles and being able to say, well, maybe the other side of the coin, if I'm a slut, right? Maybe I love my body and I just love telling people about it. Maybe that's how I could portray, and that's the value that my slut wants to have. And if I'm a nun, it's maybe I also, that is my other way of showing that, to how to protect my body and not giving everybody my energy. So being able to look at the innate value, the positivity of every single thing that is within us, every section inside of us. All right, so being able to write down, any of you have questions on this one? This is a big topic. Feeling good. All right, cool. So we'll go in, and then after this, I'm gonna stop the recording after the last question, and we're just going to share, but we'll have an hour so that each one of us can get about 8 minutes or so to share. So it'll be really nice. We've never done like a timing share, so it'll be cool.
A circle of women may live on, that the circle of women may live on. May all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are worthy, that the fire of the goddess may burn on, that the fire of the goddess may burn on.
All right, girls. You ready to come back? All right, recording girls, we're gonna head out. It was nice to have you. Thanks for being here. And we're gonna keep our sharing circle to ourselves in our little group tonight. And we love you. And if you wanna show us some of your questions that you have and what your answers were, feel free to comment in the Money Networks area and let us know. And that would actually be really cool if we got to see each other's answers. I think it'd be really supportive for other people. So leaving that there. Bye, girls.